Hey everyone, Tim here. Today we're taking a look back at a music video I directed in 2017 from a band called the Millenium and the music video Wild Again. This one came about in an interesting way. I was out in Los Angeles attending a virtual reality show, learning as much as I can about the future of virtual reality, as forward thinking as far as technology goes. And while I was there, I get a message from Matt, the lead singer of the Millenium. And he has this idea for a video that is basically in the world of 90s Nickelodeon, specifically to the show Pete and Pete. And so immediately, as I'm attending this virtual reality conference, immediately now I'm going back and watching old 90s Nickelodeon, the 4x3 square format. So it was just interesting because I'm trying to look forward to move, as I'm trying to learn and move forward in technology, here's an opportunity to go back and do something unique and different from everything else I had already done at that point. And I was on board. I wanted to do it. So as we were collaborating and coming up with an idea for the music video, besides it just being Pete and Pete, we actually wanted to pull from a very specific episode that Matt had brought to my attention. And of course, as soon as he brought it up, I remembered it. It was the Mr. Tasty episode of Pete and Pete, where the kids are experiencing the end of summer and they're just wanting to enjoy some ice cream. And there's this character on the show called Mr. Tasty, and no one knows who he is. He wears like an ice cream swirl on his head, but he brings such joy that was the episode that we kind of wanted to model the music video after. And so we did. There were a couple challenges along the way, but let's take a look at the video and let's have some fun with it. So let's take a look back. Here we go.
Ah, yes. The Ides of Summer.
This opening was actually written by Matt, and he recorded it. It was one of the last things we did that day of production. This whole video was done in a single day.
Has anyone even seen Mr. Tasty this
And you'll
year?
see we're presenting it in a 4x3 almost square aspect ratio. We actually shot it in 16:9 and then was able to kind of move it left or right in the edit because we knew we were going to export it in 4x3. Of course, in the lower right hand corner we have a little like a orange splat logo that says the Millenium on it. It's a throwback to the old 90s Nickelodeon logo there. So there's the opening. And that is very close to the original Pete and Pete opening with the lawnmower. That was actually me with the lawnmower going back and forth there. Max Winston is the guy who made the Tasty Head for us. Of course, we had to pay for it. I think that Tasty Head was around $350. If we couldn't have gotten that, I don't know what we would have done. Mr. Tasty missing signs, that's also in the original episode. Pretty simple. I think we even reuse those signs over and over again. So a lot of these shots with the band and their name coming up, this is obviously a throwback to the opening of Pete and Pete, the intro to Pete and Pete. And we took screenshots of the episodes of Pete and Pete, and we tried to frame them up and get them as close as possible to the original TV show. Even up to the dog there, Kip. This performance stuff, my friend Brian shot this, and except for this shot is something I shot, and then I handed it back to him after this because I fell over right after that. I took a fast pace in and then moved back and then fell over. So I said, Brian, why don't you try this again? I always want to do one take where I'm just moving a little bit faster than everyone else, just as a secondary option. The Mr. Tasty stuff, the credit names, all of that is shot on the C300, but this is a Canon DSLR. I don't use this video to show off the features of the C300. We're trying to diminish the quality somewhat a little bit, but overall we're trying to get it as close to that 90s look as possible while also keeping a fresh, new, contemporary feel to it. So that was the park across the street there. You can actually see it in the background there. There's new things. Every time I watch this video, there's something new every time. And this whole thing here with the photo, that's actually from the Mr. Tasty episode. That actually did happen in the episode. At the end, he takes a picture with the kids and he's in the Polaroid picture. with them. It did rain, by the way. I believe we got all the equipment outside here set up like this. And then we saw that there was a storm cloud coming over. So I think we moved everything back as fast as we could back into the garage there on the side. And that's the neighbor's bike, by the way. I don't know if they know we did that. I love this. The performance stuff is some of my favorite stuff. Always, in almost all the music videos, because there's always something new, and every time you watch it, there's just a different detail that you didn't see before. And this last shot, so they have the Blue Tornado ice cream bars in their hands, and this is just a DJI drone shot, of course, just going straight up. But this is the only shot that isn't directly related to Pete and Pete. This is more of a callback to older 90s television shows like Full House or Family Matters, where they have that drone shot going over a city or over their house with the yellow lettering coming up. So that's the only shot that is still 90s TV, but not directly specific to Pete and Pete. And we go out, and if you listen real faint or if you have headphones on, you'll hear the birds chirping too. So there you go. And that's it. That's Wild Again by the Millenium. Had a lot of fun making that video, and I hope to do a few more of these too, give you some behind the scenes insights on some of my past projects. So if you enjoyed this kind of content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.